Hey guys, we're going to use this lux meter to find out which light is best for you. This will help us to measure the light to see which one is the brightest for each foot that we account for. Magnetic lights, your typical work lights with the LED, new and improved LED, Underhood lights. Here's one of your old school work lights, well, except this one's the new version, LED. Now we also have headlamps, small lights, and these very inexpensive magnetic light. After all, a lot of times you're going to be reaching in here and you're going to have trouble, especially with light, because if you put a light here, you reach your hand here, then obviously your hand's going to block off most of the light. So that's one big disadvantage. Pin light, but obviously one of your hands won't be free, and it could have the same problem because you may need both hands to lift out the part. One reason why an underhood light is very important is because you can see everything around you, where all your parts are. You don't accidentally knock parts over. Hand light comes in very handy. You need to get a part, reaching your hand in here, you need both hands. Well, guess what? Now you have a light. It's not super bright. Now allow me to show you some of the disadvantages of using a headlamp. With only one light going. Then, after we show you this, we'll go ahead and get started with the measurements. Well, I have to say that's pretty good. Obviously, you're still going to need another light. Notice all the dark spaces. You could move this light around. You could even take one of these lights out and only use one up top, but then, well, it's not going to cover as much surface area. As you can see, I've faced the lights downward. Next up, we have this handy bright. This light has a stand, magnetic on the bottom, swivels the head around. Pretty good, but you can see, not that bright. We'll go ahead and use a second one. This way you guys can see, because I'll be honest with you, many times you can get a few of these for really like 10 bucks, like 4 of them. Now these work lights, obviously it's going to matter what type of light you're using. So I'm using these 100-watt equivalent LED bulbs. Light appearance, warm to cool. I go around the cool area. I guess so much for the work light. They all have some purposes, but if you don't want to have a million lights, well, you need to choose the right ones. Check out these really inexpensive studio lights. Take a look at this upgraded studio light. What I love about this, depending on what temperature light you prefer, as I showed you the visual 3200K, and that's going to be more of an orange yellow light, and then you can go up to 5600K, which it's hard for you guys to tell here, but I know that most people don't care about that, and this can be rechargeable or plugged in. Turn it up all the way to 100%. See how bright this is? Just like the other light, it can go at any angle. I had a light behind it for a moment. And as you can see, this is a very bright light. Probably the brightest one. So you can turn it all the way down, whatever you like. Change the temperature with this knob. Let's go ahead and get into checking these measurements. Okay, now we have the studio light, the best one, and it's turned all the way up. We have our lux meter, so we'll go ahead at the 4 foot mark which appears to be roughly center, and we'll take a measurement for each one. Okay, we have to be careful not to affect the light. Okay, so you guys saw it. It was about 226.3 right underneath the light. I'm trying to use both of the lights, practically touching it. Past that mark, it drops off big time. Now let's see how far in front of the car it goes. Yeah. So it does reach close to the front of the vehicle. Now these lights are about the same cost-wise, I believe around $125 to $50 depending on where you get it from. Now I'll go ahead and check out this light and see just how far I can get from it. It does go over 4 feet in each direction easily. The light easily goes to about 8 feet, and it was still going. I just couldn't reach any higher. You can see the light shining up there, and you can look to the sides and tell it's pretty dark. This is one of your old-fashioned work lights, except for it's upgraded from halogen to LED. Nowadays you can find either one, but I prefer the LED. It's rechargeable, the 67.7. You can see 4 feet. I apologize for the bad angle. It's a little bit difficult for me to get in here without affecting the light as well. Now let's see just how far it goes before it drops off. Okay, it reaches far to the same width as the past studio light, the best one. They're about equal in width and height. They appear to be roughly equal then too. So they're definitely going to cover a large work area. I definitely recommend Well guys, I want to thank you for watching Nate's Interactive Auto.